Hi, my name is Pat Thompson. I'm public health nurse from Marshall County, and it's great to be here today and to talk to you again about the coronavirus, COVID-19, the C word, whatever we want to call it at this time. And as I said many times before, it's here and it's not going away yet. And so we still need to, even with loosening restrictions on all the things we can do for fun, we still need to continue with our social distancing, which is all about location, and wearing a face mask when you're around other people within 6 feet. Now we're doing with the different type, it changes every 7 to 10 days. There's something that we're learning more about, and that's what I'm hoping I can share with you on this program. And one of the things is that the face mask really does help. Now, when I say a face mask, I'm not talking about an N95 or what someone would wear to protect themselves from the tuberculosis germ. It's actually one that really is. It helps keep your germs to you and your viruses, and when other people wear theirs, it keeps their germs and viruses to them, and that helps decrease the spread. And then the other thing is 6 feet apart at least. Now, as we've learned more and more, we've decided through CDC that when we do contact tracing, which Marshall County Public Health does not do that because it's done by the National Guard and Iowa Department of Public Health people, which I'm very grateful for, that we would ask you, who have you been around 48 hours before you got sick that you've been within closer than 6 feet to that person and you've not had a mask on? And actually it's within closer than 6 feet and for longer than 15 minutes. So when we pass someone by at the grocery store, it's very unlikely to be exposed because you're moving and it's not 15 minutes, it's passing by. And as I recommend, if the public health nurse is wearing a mask, you need to also, really, because I don't like wearing it any more than you do. But it's what I need to do to protect myself and protect you. So anyway, when you're at the grocery store and you're walking down the aisles, we still need a social distance, but if you're passing someone and you do get within 6 feet, having a mask on helps tremendously, and making your time next to each other as short as possible is the other part of it. People are still getting sick. There's many people that don't have symptoms at all. And that's why we need to be concerned, because we can't do finger pointing and figure out who those people are very easily, because our testing is very important, and we know that, but testing is a point in time. So that doesn't mean that you won't get COVID-19 that same day. It depends on your exposure. So testing is a point in time, and we need to respect that and know that it's not the end all, and that doesn't mean you won't get it, because you can just as easily. It's just now you don't have it at that moment of the test, okay? So when you get the results, that may be changed, so you still continue to do your social distancing and wear your mask and respect other people's boundaries as you expect them to respect yours. We have to continue with the kindness that we have and patience with people, and patience with people at our businesses when we go to get our essential supplies, which is still recommended. I know restaurants are open and that type of thing, but we need to respect the space when we're in restaurants, and patience as you know how the lineup can be waiting to get in the waiting list. Anyway, my phone. But anyway, the waiting list can make us wait. Well, it's going to be more now. So you just have to really expect that to happen. But if you feel the need to get out to eat a meal where they prepared it for us, doesn't that sound nice? And you get to use silverware and you get to see people. I'm looking forward to it too. But if you need to do that, respect the time frame that may be longer because of how many people they have to take care of, and actually they probably have to gear up again, because it's been going on, or just been starting. So getting supplies in, they may have a limited menu at the moment, or And when you're going to other opportunities, such as bars are opening, and that's where you really need to try to keep your social distance. And we know that's not really what bars are for. They're to socialize in. But anyway, just remember that you still need to continue that social distancing. And even though you want to hug everybody, now is not the time, but your time will come again. And wear a mask. You can actually even have a mask that's you can have fun with. Appropriately have fun with a mask. So I wanted to talk to you about that, and through the holiday weekends that we have, they're sure nice, aren't they? And we enjoy getting out and seeing people and that type of thing, but keep it low key like we need to do. And we're still supposed to really only go out for essentials, especially if you have any kind of underlying health conditions. That's something you really need to think about, is staying home and let other people get out and bring you treats or something, or sit on your deck and sit in the yard without company and not have people come to your home unless you really can maintain that social distance. I want to share one thing with you that's been a really rough week as far as not eating everything in sight again. Because when you're inside and I'm doing things I really don't want to do, and so this is a time we still have to make sure that we eat a healthy diet and keep our carbohydrates and our fats, our really, my brain, oh, sorry, gotta fix this. Anyway, the foods that are highly processed, we need to avoid those, and oh boy, are they easy to pick up.
That'd be the convenient foods.
That's convenient foods that we essentially go out for, right? We make a decision to go purchase, and every time I do it.
I told my kids, convenience is costly.
And it is costly in more ways than money, because it's on your whole body. So I keep making a new goal of not eating that, but when I'm home all day and all evening, it's kind of hard to not, like I said, repeatedly go to the same cupboard and refrigerator that has not changed, and looking for something to munch on. So it has to be resolved in my head, and I'm going to work on it, and I invite you to join me in that, because that's going to keep us healthier, and that's what this is all about. Excuse me.
It starts at the grocery store. If you don't want to eat it, don't buy it.
Well, I know that, yes, like Craig says, that, yeah, I actually have to leave the chip aisle or not even go down it, and the cookies and the crackers and those aisles and the cheeses, and
so you don't shop when you're hungry.
That's when I tend to go. I can get through most of the day, but my brain says, Pat, if sometimes you are hungry, and it's okay to be hungry and wait for the next meal. But it's a mission, and I'm in the same boat as most people. Some people may have more self-control than what I have, but we just have to have true confessions here on that. And the exercise or increased activity, to make it sound more palatable, has kind of gone down the tubes, where I was doing really well. And so, like I said, next week, and I think our weather will help with that too, work on that more and drink the appropriate fluids and avoid excess alcohol. And it's easy to do in this time of sitting too. So avoid your excess alcohol. 1 drink for females, 2 drinks for men every day is what's the recommendation if you're going to have alcohol. And so that kind of makes us think, right? And so it's just one of those things that I want you to be healthy and still keep plugging away at it, because we want healthy people when this is all done. Now on those words, I have to say that all done is not soon. We have to understand that as we open up and loosen restrictions on our fun stuff, our activities, or the things we're used to in life, and becoming congregating together, which we really like to do. That gives us responsibility to it. Helps. We have to understand we have responsibility to take care of ourselves, and may I say it again: social distance, wear a mask, all those types of things, and help take care of yourself and other people around you. So. This opening up is going to be kind of tough on us, and I just cannot predict whether everything will escalate now or not. So we actually, after the holiday weekend, we have to look about 2 weeks out and see where we're at, because it takes that long to really kind of finish up exposures at that time. So, I want you to know right now, today they are starting testing, Test Iowa at MCC in the parking lot. And Kim Elder is out helping set up or showing up to show Dr. Lyons, who's is the chairman of the Board of Health, and look at the site, and so we can see how it all flows, because it's interesting to us. And while there are not people going through that are being tested, so I invite you, if you feel like you need to be tested and want to be tested, that go to the website. You just Google in testiowa.com, and you'll have a questionnaire to fill out. And many of us do qualify. I actually did it yesterday for the first time, and I qualified, and I thought, well, it must be my age, probably is the most likely reason. And I did say I was in health care, even though I don't see patients rarely. I don't see COVID patients for sure. So I'm protected that way, and I'm grateful for that because of the work that I do. And then we're grateful for the people that are testing and are out there in the front lines taking care of patients and helping to help people return to health and also prevent COVID. And that's where my job is, prevention and education, so and preparedness. So so today they start testing, and so go fill out that little form, because you really do need to go in. You can't just show up at the college and say, hey, I decided to be tested, because there's appointments. And that's a good thing. You don't want to be lined up forever and a day. They've got time frame that they want people to come. And so I didn't make an appointment, so I'm not sure how that all works. So if you go in there, you'll know more about than what I do. But the little test is not hard, and it's just on your computer, testiowa.com. So if you feel like you need to be tested, go in and check that out and get an appointment and come on to MCC as directions are given. Okay, Kim Elder has done a great job of setting up the line, when you're waiting, because you stay in your vehicle, setting up the line and having people so they can come through without snagging up the traffic on Highway 14 is really what it's all about. So.
Kim Elder, Marshall County Emergency Management Coordinator, and we're here at the Test Iowa site in Marshalltown at the Iowa Valley Continuing Education parking lot.
Okay, you want to talk about how this works?
Sure. For the Test Iowa site in Marshall County, you do not have to be a Marshall County resident. You just go online at the Test Iowa site off of IDPH's website and sign up for testing. Anyone is available or is able to get the testing now, so you go on, sign up, and get a QR code. And once you get that QR code, it should tell you when your appointment is. You can choose certain dates. If you have any problem with that, there is a question answer portion on IDPH, and you can send in a question on that. But basically, once you have that QR code and your testing time, you'll come in, you'll follow directions, and come to the testing site. They'll do your test, and you'll move on. So it's pretty simple. When you drive in, there'll be signage, and the signs will tell you to keep your windows rolled up until instructed to roll them down. You will stay in your car. You should have if you have more than one person in the vehicle that has a QR code, you need to direct the tester that you do have more than one. Have that paperwork with you. So the QR code actually has to be printed out or on your phone so that you can give that to the testing site. With the test, they do the nasal swab, so that'll it's a long Q-tip, and it'll go in through your nasal cavity and take a test, and then it gets put into the test tube and sent off for the testing. If you don't have access to the internet, they're recommending that you work with a friend, a family member. I know the library doesn't have necessarily all the access it usually does, but you may be able to call somewhere like that has computers that you can access. So that is unfortunately the only way if you go onto the website to sign up. These are available Thursday, Friday. We are doing the soft opening, so there were a few appointments for those dates. And then they're hoping to be open 2 weeks. So starting Monday, I don't know what date that is, starting Monday the 1st. We will be doing a 2-week span unless the governor changes that. So if they see it's busier, they may stay open longer. If it's not as busy, they may cut the time short. So they play it by numbers. The results then get sent to that individual. So I'm not sure if it goes through email or if it goes through the mail, but they will contact that individual with their test results. To enter the site for Marshall County's site is the north entrance to the college parking lot. So that would be the MCC entrance. And it'll take you around the campus and into the test site, and you will exit then on the south end or the Iowa Valley side.
So I'm Pat Thompson, Marshall County Public Health Nurse, and we want to encourage people that if you feel like you need to be tested, to go ahead and go onto the website, Google testiowa.com, and it's very easy to fill out the form. And make sure you make your appointment, and make sure you do that before you come, because you can't get in without an appointment. But this is a good way to test if you feel like you need to. Dr. Lyons?
Yeah, anybody who wants a test can get a test. And so if you think you've been exposed, or you just want to know, or you've had symptoms, this would be an excellent way to get the test done for free.
You want to talk about
Serology,
serology
yeah.
versus the testing that we do here?
So the test here is the nasal swab, and it detects the virus in your system currently. And so it'll tell you if you have an infection currently, whether you have symptoms or not. The blood test, or serology, is a test for the antibody, and that's to see if you've had a recent or past infection. It doesn't tell you if you're actively infectious right now. And that is not being offered through the Test Iowa site. That would be through your provider's office, and anybody could request that, but your provider would have to make the determination whether you qualify, and then it would be up to you to pay for that test, whereas the Test Iowa diagnostic test today is free.
So MCC is kind enough to let us be out here, and that's great. And we'll see what people learn when they come through this. Remember, the test is a point in time. That doesn't mean that you can't get it. It means you don't have it at COVID-19 at that time of testing. Okay. As far as when test results come back, I can't really say. Sometimes it's within 48 hours. It can be longer, I understand, so that's that patience thing. So make sure you understand that. And you can ask that question when you come through the line. So, okay. Anything else, Craig, at all?
Yeah, I just want to say that I've heard people say, well, the governor's letting things open up, so it must be safe out there. Well, it's not safe out there.
It's not safe out there.
And you know there's places where there's going to be people unmasked, so you need to choose where you shop carefully, especially convenience stores or gas stations, whatever. But those people who work there and are unmasked come in contact with a lot of people.
Yes.
So you need to make sure you know your distances.
Yes, and take care of other people and yourself. You're really doing yourself a service by doing that. And also, if you don't get sick, then you can't make anybody else sick. You know, and you have family members. Not I live alone, but many people have people in their lives, and you want to protect them, and that's how you do that. And still, you know, we think, well, things are open, and yes, they are, but we still need to be shopping essentially, you know, not shopping for the day type of thing. You know, have a plan, go get what you need, whether it's shoes, which who doesn't want to do that? I do. And, you know, things like that, and our flowers, we go get our flowers, we go home. You know, get our plants, we go home, that type of thing. And it's just how we should be doing it now. Because it's not back to, we're not back to, I want to say normal, but it's not life as usual, okay? So it's a changed world we live in right now. But it will get better, I promise you that. I know it will. But it's going to take a while, and it's not going to be even months from now. It's going to be longer for everything to get back. But many of us will be up.
They canceled Minnesota State Fair.
Did they close this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Iowa has till the middle of June to decide.
Okay, Iowa State Fair is undecided yet, but when you look at the pictures of the crowds and you know that it's crowded at the State Fair, and I actually liked that for a while. That's not social distancing, and you won't be able to do it.
Maybe they'll cut it to 50% capacity.
Yeah. And that'll still be crowded.
Yeah.
So, and I know they can actually, the fair is not always just for my entertainment and for food, like I like, right? But they can actually have the competitions, or there are things that they need to do from the county fairs to the state fair. They'll figure that out. If you don't have county fairs and you really can't have it, or that's what I understand, you can't really do the state fair. It's the same because it's for competition.
Well, there's been some county fairs that have canceled or postponed until later in the fall, so they're going to be after state fair anyway. So
Yes.
they won't have people in.
Yeah. So how do you display your 4-H projects
Yeah, I don't know.
and our 4-H and now I can't. There's FFA and
yeah.
those types of things that are just really fun, and we get to participate in that just because from the outside, I'm one of those people that walks through the barn walking around things.
Well, and it's a big part of our economy, so
Yes.
that would be
Yep.
the decision driver there.
Yes.
If they decide to have a state fair, that will be the reason why.
Yes, yeah, well, yeah.
It
and-
won't be because they've decided it's safe.
Exactly, because it actually won't be. We have to say that, and that's where you need to wear a mask. If you go to the state fair or the county fair, you really need to wear a mask.
And avoid people who don't.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a real trick too.
Yeah.
We need to be kind, and not point fingers, but we just need to move around them. And we know there are masks available if you don't even know if you have to hardly ask anymore because they're in the newspaper every day, and I'm sure they're online as far as Facebook where you can get masks and that type of stuff. So they're not hard to find at this moment. So be sure to wear your mask, keep 6-foot social distance, please, and respect other people, and remember to be patient and kind. Okay, and till next time. Bye-bye.